welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm Chrisley Kennedy, and this is the show we bring you the day's biggest movie news, and of course we give you insight into what it all means. The captain of our ship today is AMC's very own Christian Harloff.
Ba weep grana weep ninny bomb. You might know the reference, you might not. It doesn't matter. Don't worry, just like the Guardians of the Galaxy, you can't be at will return. But today, the inmates are running the asylum.
Woohoo! I love when the inmates run the asylum. We also have AMC's very own Miri Jetikin.
Hello, everyone. I am definitely feeling a little insane today.
Nice.
And the director of the upcoming film, The Death of Superman Lives. What happened, Mr. John Schnepp? It quickly went from asylum to apes, very quickly. All right, guys, well, many people still speculate about if a Wonder Woman or a Black Widow movie will be the first new era female-led superhero movie. It looks like Sony may beat everyone to the punch. According to reports, Sony is planning on developing a female-led superhero film set in the universe of their Amazing Spider-Man franchise for 2016. Byrne notices Lisa Joy Nolan has been brought on to write the script. Sony is also still planning a Sinister Six movie for 2016, as well as a Venom movie titled Venom Carnage for 2017, with The Amazing Spider-Man 3 targeted for 2018. Christian, what do you think of Sony's plans for a female-led superhero movie, and which Spider-Man universe character do you think it will revolve around?
I mean, look, the positives of this thing is Sony getting out there before anyone else, because like Chrisley mentioned, as regards to Black Widow and all these characters that we met, Captain Marvel, that still hasn't happened, we haven't had the big female-driven character yet. And so Sony going, we're doing it first. We're doing it first is cool, but it's still them going, we're doing it first, because they're the little kid on the playground. Right. They are such the little kid on the playground in this whole scenario, and it makes me nervous. And as far as who I think will be the first one, you got to assume it's going to be Black Cat, because they set her up in the last movie, whether you like it or not. It seemed like they were setting it up, and that's what we're going to get. So yeah, it's just a matter of how it's executed and if it's going to be sloppy. And I just feel that this is so rushed, even more so than I felt with DC. So yeah, that's my take on it. Miri?
Yeah, I agree. I think out of the sort of three major studio players in the superhero franchise world, Sony is definitely kind of, like you said, the little kid on the playground. And this does seem like a push to kind of build out this franchise idea, because out of all the franchises, I feel like Spider-Man feels the least franchisey. And the most cobbled together. I think you're right about Black Cat. I was also thinking Spider-Woman, just because she's so well known and people know who she is, and she kind of has a cool costume. Yeah. I always liked Firestar from the cartoon. She was cool, but I don't think they're gonna use a character that nobody really knows about. I think it's gonna be either Black Cat or Spider-Woman, and also the numbers are in, like for Guardians, how many women. I know you guys talked about it. You talked about it yesterday on the show, and you know, I think it's time. I think people are ready for a female-driven story. So it's cool.
Schnepp?
Yeah, I don't think Firestar, just because that was a character created by the cartoon.
I know.
That was not even
that's
from
that's why I know who she is.
Yeah, I would think they would go with Spider-Woman instead of Black Cat, just because of the name value. And yeah, I like the way you said cobbled together. They're like the last ones picked on the team. All right, Sony. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing now? Oh, God. Yeah.
Well, the only thing with Spider-Woman is the fact that I just don't think it's been set up yet, and it just would be, I talk about just throwing it out there. Right. I agree that because of the match and back and forth, and that's going to be such a hard one to cast. And the reason I just think Black Cat is because you've gotten tidbits so far, and you want to go with the Sinister Six and the bad angle of it all. And Catwoman has been done good, and Hathaway was really bad. So we haven't had a great Catwoman standalone film, so a Black Cat getting out there first would be interesting.
But why wouldn't they just go with that same actress that they established in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but instead of making her Black Cat, she could become Spider-Woman?
But isn't the character from the arc, from other comic books, doesn't she eventually play
but
Black
they change everything
Wasn't
anyway.
Spider-Woman, isn't she like the Peter Parker's clone? Or I don't know how it works.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
There's so many storylines. Then there's another issue, which is we don't know what characters Sony has ownership of.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a whole. It's exciting nonetheless, and we'll see how they execute it. But I think it's rushed. Chrisley, what do you got next?
Although the project has been in development limbo for several years, reports are now claiming that Pride and Prejudice and Zombies will begin shooting next month. The film, based on the novel, is an expanded look at the Jane Austen classic that tells the timeless story of a woman's quest for love and independence amid the outbreak of a deadly virus that turns the undead into vicious killers. Schnepp, what do you think of Pride and Prejudice and Zombies finally moving forward?
I don't believe it. I think it's not going to happen. This is one of those projects that they're always going to talk about. It's just going to be stumbling around in some kind of development hell forever.
Yeah.
Like, I love the cover, though. It's great.
Yeah, the cover is super rad.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about it. It sounds cool. It sounds interesting. It's one of those movies that if it does happen, you go, whoa, how did this thing get made?
Yeah.
And I think it'll pique curiosity, but I don't know. I don't know how well it would do.
Didn't this author then go on to write Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
That's what makes me nervous. I think so. Yeah, it was horrible. So
that train sequence, I still have nightmares about that because of how bad it is.
About how bad it was.
Yeah, it's how it would never end.
Do you care about seeing something like this?
No, I don't. I mean, the thing is that this project has been around, I think like 2009 when the book came out, people were talking about it. And I know Natalie Portman was attached and David O. Russell was attached. Now, I forget the director's name, but he did Igby Goes Down, and he's directing this, which I really liked.
Yeah.
But he also did 17 again, so I don't know. But the thing about this is that I loved Pride and Prejudice. I'm like a Jane Austen. I love her books, and I don't feel like we need to revisit. Pride and Prejudice alone has been done 100 times in film. So let's kind of find some new...
You don't want to see it get tainted and stuff?
Yeah. It's not even that. I'm kind of done with the story, even with zombies, and I feel like now they've changed the cast and they keep changing things. So
it does seem like a lot of times if they try to add some kind of classic, they go, well, let's throw some vampires in there. Let's throw some zombies.
Now with zombies. Oh, yeah, it's so bad.
Yeah, zombies
Horrible.
is popular. What's popular now?
Well, no one's into vampires anymore, but people still love zombies.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're now getting to the point we call buy and sell here on AMC Movie Talk. The lovely Chrisley will run down some more news in the movie universe, and then Schnepp, myself, and Miri will just say if we buy or sell it. All right, Chrisley, what's up first?
I'm going to read it even nicer now because you called me lovely.
Yes.
All right, Battleship John Carter and Lone Survivor star Taylor Kitsch has been offered the leading role in Patrick Hugh's upcoming English-language remake of The Raid. The Raid tells the story of an elite DEA fast team that becomes trapped in a tenement run by a notorious drug lord, his two highly violent martial arts killers, and a personal militia armed with machetes and machine guns. Stranded on the 6th floor with no way out, the team must fight their way through the city's worst to survive their mission. Miri, would you buy or sell Taylor Kitsch playing the lead in the Raid remake?
Can I buy Taylor Kitsch but sell the remake?
That's exactly what I was going to do.
Because I really like Taylor Kitsch. I want to see him in a successful film because you know he's had such bad luck with John Carter and Battleship and all this stuff. But he's so awesome and he's handsome and he can do it. And I know if there's a guy for the job, it's him. I just think The Raid is such a contained, kind of perfect film for what it is. It doesn't need to be remade, especially not like 2.5 years after it came out. Like let's let it have its own shelf life before we start remaking it. So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I am selling this thing off the roof because it's not only am I selling the remake, I'm selling Taylor Kitsch as well, and it's not because of Taylor Kitsch as an actor. When he first came out, I was selling everything he was doing because I felt he was part of that Hollywood machine where like, this is your new movie star.
Yeah.
You have to accept him now. That's your movie star. Let's put him next to Sam Worthington. And you're like, no, I don't want to accept him. But then he starts popping into roles like Lone Survivor.
Yeah.
And then, you know.
Savages, he was good.
Yes, and he starts to do these side roles and you're like, wait, this kid can act. And in Friday Night Lights, he's a good actor. So this is not a movie for him to do. That's why I'm selling it, because The Raid 2 just came out this year. The Raid 3 is in production.
Right.
We don't need a remake of The Raid. The Raid is fantastic. It was one of my favorite movies, The Raid 2, of this year. You don't need to remake this at all, and this is something that he should stay away from and do much better roles. Schnepp, what do you think?
I totally agree with both of you. I think Taylor Kitsch is a great actor. He's just been in hey, John Carter was a good film. It just nobody went to see it because of bad marketing. Same with Edge of Tomorrow or whatever that one was called. It's like bad marketing. It's a good film. I have an issue with, like, of course movies always get remade, but something like The Raid and the way that The Raid 2 was handled, especially here in the US, like 3 theaters for 4 days.
People don't read subtitles.
That's the mentality.
Unbelievable. Well, get a grip, whoever's in charge of this stuff, because everybody who has Netflix is now like infused with tons of foreign films that they're watching and enjoying.
Yeah,
So,
and films that never even hit theaters.
yeah,
you
so
know?
there's more of a market for subtitled films now than ever before.
Right.
So if you properly released The Raid 2 with a good PR push, every action fan would have seen it, because when I saw it in the theater, I could not believe what I was seeing. I still think it's one of the best action films of the year, and it's in my top 5 just movies of the year. And so to hear about a Raid 2, an American remake, it's like, it just annoys me, because it's like, it kind of annoys me sometimes when you think about like the sluggish 80s kind of like fist punchy American films versus the Hong Kong action films.
Yeah.
Where you're like,
Totally.
this is visceral excitement. This is kind of boring stuff like in John Wayne
Generic,
kind of.
yeah.
Yeah, generic. So anyway, I'm against it.
Well, I'm with you, because I think that Kitsch isn't going to be able to pull off that stuff physically that these guys do in the Raid and
Even
Raid
if he
2.
does, he's still Taylor Kitsch. That's the other problem with The Raid. There's an anonymity there because we don't know who all the actors are living here in America, and I love that about those films. I love the fact that you can just dive right in, and it's visceral, and you're in there, and there's no like, oh, that's Taylor Kitsch, and he's in this movie.
Right.
There's no consciousness.
Yeah,
so
I
I
agree.
feel like it would be better if they even cast an unknown. If they have to.
Unanimous around the board.
Yeah.
Chrisley.
I have to say that the chat board totally agreeing with you with The Raid. Like, they just came out 2 years ago. Why are we already
Smart
releasing
chat
it?
The
board.
sequel
Smart
came out
chat
this year. The
board.
director, bring the director on. If you're gonna have
Yeah.
the director do it the same way they're doing with Mad Max,
Right.
do that, and then I'm go, okay, maybe now he wants to show it on a different side. Then I would get it, but they're not even bringing him on. It's like, get out of there.
Yeah,
Right.
Mad Max is like 30 years old, so.
I know. Oh, Chrisley, sorry. What do we got next?
All right, coming off his critically acclaimed film Boyhood, director Richard Linklater has suddenly departed the upcoming remake of The Incredible Mr. Limpet. The Incredible Mr. Limpet will star Zach Galifianakis. Wow. Marbles in my mouth. Zach Galifianakis, Josh Gad, John Hamm, Kevin Hart, Danny McBride, Sarah Silverman, and Kay and Peele. A remake of the 1964 Don Knotts film classic. The film follows Henry Limpet, who experiences his fondest wish, and it's transformed into a fish. The new version of the tale set the action in present day and has Galifianakis Limpet attempting to save the fish population of a small beach town. Christian, if you can understand the words coming out of my mouth, do you buy or sell Linklater leaving The Incredible Mr. Limpet?
You recovered well, and don't let him see you sweat. I'm going to buy and sell it if I can do that, because I'm going to buy the fact that I respect that he's walking off of it. If he's not interested in the project and he doesn't want to do it, and it's his right to go, look, at this point, it's not something for me. I don't know what happened. If that's what happened, or maybe it was money negotiations, I don't know. Whatever it is, Richard Linklater did not want to do the film, or couldn't do the film, and he's gone.
Yeah.
The sell is that you lose a great talent when you lose a guy like this, and I would love to see his vision of this. I would like to see what he's going to do. I hope that they go after someone who's like a visionary, kind of like he is, and if that's the case, then I'll be okay with it. It's just a matter of who they get next. But Schnepp, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to sell it. It's unfortunate to hear that Linklater, because he would add so much to what looks like, what was that McFarlane Western? I can't even
Million
remember.
Ways to Die in the West.
That just feels like that's what this is. Like, get a whole bunch of people together and we'll remake that old classic, even though the McFarlane.
Mad World.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, hearing somebody like an auteur like Linklater leaving, who are they going to replace him with? Is it going to be like a McDonald's director, like this guy, he'll do it. You know?
I don't want it to get into that Ant-Man category, where you have somebody like Edgar Wright, and then it's just like, oh, let's just find anyone that can do it, and just get, because this version of this movie with Linklater could have been something cool to watch.
Yeah.
Granted, you might just get in a remake, but the difference between like someone I think like Seth MacFarlane doing it, and then you get Linklater, who's going to bring, his movies, his style. You're going to get something really fun. His voice, you feel it.
Right.
Miri?
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I think Linklater's in a really interesting position because he just broke incredible ground with Boyhood, and it was a critical success, and it was kind of a commercial success for an indie film. So he's in a really interesting position. He's in a once-in-a-lifetime position. He has clout and he has voice, and that's really rare in Hollywood. And I think probably, I mean, I'm totally guessing, but he might have run into a situation where he didn't have enough pre-production time and he really wanted to give this time, or he realized that this wasn't the thing he wanted to be doing next, and he has the power now to step away and say, you know what? I'm not going to do this project. I'm going to do something else. And he actually has the ability to do that.
That's a great point, because I wonder also if, because Boyhood's getting all, I mean, I don't know if it still is, but it was like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and people were just going over the moon for this film. And if there's Oscar buzz behind it, and if he's saying, well, if I get a chance to win an Oscar, do I want this one to be my next
Exactly.
one? So yeah, I think that's a great point. Right. All right, Chrisley, what do we got?
New images have hit the web of Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne on the set of the upcoming Batman vs. Superman. The pictures claim to be of Wayne visiting a destroyed Wayne Financial building in downtown Metropolis. Schnepp, buy or sell these new images from Batman vs. Superman.
All right, Bruce Wayne. I'm gonna buy them, even though like far away and a bunch of other people are in it. Usually would wait for the actual real publicity. Still, there's Bruce Wayne doing something instead of all the cameras in the way. But it kind of makes you feel like you're there, like snooping in on something. So yeah, I'll buy it. It's fun to see Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne finally.
I am buying this for it's cool to see him as Bruce Wayne, but I'm buying it because if you look really closely, you see a little bit of the gray. You see the gray in his hair on the bottom there.
Oh, right.
That means they're sticking maybe pretty close to the source material here of the Batman, the Dark Knight Returns. Dark Knight Returns. So if that's the case, that's cool. And even when they announced Batman v Superman at Comic-Con last year, they opened with a quote from that graphic novel. So I'm very, very interested to see if that's where we go with it. And it's also, look at the size of that guy.
Yeah.
It's like the Hulk.
He's huge.
Huge, but it also means, okay, when we see him as Batman, it's going to count. But you're also going to be like, wait a minute, how come they don't know that Bruce Wayne's Batman? It's like, just stop with those questions. He's huge, get over it. Miri?
He's huge. Get over it. That's the quote for the show today. I really like these images. I actually get a little goose pimply when I see them because, to your point, he's got gray hair, but he looks. It's that Bruce Wayne that's been drinking. He's like he looks like he's had a little hard living. He's still huge, but
I'm retired.
Yeah, exactly. He looks like a little browbeaten, and I love that. I want to see that. I want to see a damaged, dark, despondent Bruce Wayne. So that's what these images said to me. So I'm psyched.
Yeah. You reminded me. I hope that Ben Affleck doesn't do the, "Hi, I'm Bruce Wayne."
"Hi, I'm the Batman." I don't think he will. I think he knows. You have to hope that he knows. And everyone's going to ask him, "Are you going to talk like this?"
Well, I think Zack Snyder's probably very aware of fan culture and the fan culture that surrounds Batman, and that voice. I mean, when they're joking about it in Neighbors, it's time to retire.
I mean, even
right?
in the Ninja Turtles in the trailers, you see it as well too. Like he's doing his Batman voice.
Or the Lego Movie, like it's
all that
it's,
stuff. Yeah,
it's
you
everywhere.
know. But the question is, what I'm very curious about. There's rumors, and it probably won't be, but some people think that maybe because it might continue the storyline of Dark Knight, the trilogy by Nolan, the fact that he might be playing that older version of Bale's Batman. It's interesting. I don't think that necessarily is going to be the case, but it would be cool if he's been living with Catwoman, God knows where, and then he comes back because Superman messed stuff up. All right, now it is time for Mailbag, and this is where we have picked out a bunch of user questions you guys have submitted throughout the week, the months, and we make sure that Chrisley's going to read some of them out, and we are going to answer those very questions. Chrisley, what's the first one?
And then don't forget, if we have time, we might be able to answer and take some live Twitter questions.
Yes.
So tweet them to AMC Movie News now. All right, Darcy Oliver writes, "Hello, AMC from Australia. Love the show and the whole crew. My question is regarding press for the Guardians of the Galaxy. How come most of the cast are promoting this film, but Bradley Cooper is nowhere to be seen or found? Considering Rocket is such a big part of the film, why have we seen more of Chris Pratt and Zoe Saldana and no Bradley doing interviews? They are hard to find on the net. Thanks, and keep up the great work."
Darcy Oliver. We were talking about this off air, and I didn't really know if there was any gossip or rumors or why wasn't he doing it. I just kind of assumed that maybe he was in production or something. He wasn't available because if you've seen even from John Campion's interview with Vin Diesel, and he talked to Dax or Batista, he talked to all these people. Where was Bradley Cooper? It's a very good question. I just don't think there's anything behind it. Right. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, no, I think we talked about this. I think really what it boils down to is sometimes when actors are in films, they have contracts that state that if they have other conflicts that come up, that they can bow out of press. Sometimes they have in their contracts that they absolutely have to do press, and they get paid more for it. It depends. I think it boiled down to he's really busy. He's doing, Academy Award-winning films. He's one of the hottest actors in Hollywood. Yeah. He's probably busy shooting something and had to bow out. It doesn't seem to me like there was any bad blood on this set. This seems like it was super fun to make. I'm assuming a lot of them are going to come back for the sequel, I hope. And I don't think it's anything more than just scheduling and conflicts.
I'd say Rocket's one of my favorite characters, and the voice work by Bradley Cooper was so spot on and just amazing that I bet he was like, "Let the raccoon talk for me." I'm sure he's busy.
He's busy, and as far as coming back for the sequel, now the way it works, they lock him down right away. He's coming back. And I think that once you have this big, huge opening weekend, you're going to hear stuff from him as Rocket. They'll probably do some stuff at, whether it be even at MTV Movie Awards, they'll probably have him come out as Rocket. Who knows? Like, they'll do stuff like that. You will see Bradley Cooper talking Rocket more and more and more.
You know what? I heard this from a friend that Sean Gunn, James Gunn's brother, actually on set played Rocket. Like, he had a little green suit on, so that when everyone was acting, he would be pretending to be Rocket. So I wonder if they actually took some of Sean Gunn's mannerisms and combined that with Bradley Cooper's,
It's interesting. Did they have the performance capture stuff on him as well, too?
I don't think, well, on Sean Gunn, I don't know about that. I just was talking
just like an eyeline type thing?
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I mean,
maybe want a pet raccoon that could talk. I want one.
Yeah. And
a group.
And we're not, no spoilers or anything in regard to Guardians, but Bradley Cooper was the first guy when I heard, well, he's voicing the raccoon. You go, well, wait a minute, he's a big star. Is that going to throw it off? Not at all. I mean, you didn't, unless you really listen for it, you can't even hear that he's in there. He was so great at it.
He was perfect.
All right, Chrisley, what's the next mailbag question?
Sean Will writes, there are so many great character actors you see in film after film playing smaller but key roles and never get much credit or acclaim. That being said, which character actor do you think has the ability and would you like to see get an opportunity to be a lead?
I got two of them. The one is recently the Get On Up movie. There's an actor by the name of Keith Robinson who was also in Dreamgirls, and he was also in a TV show that I used to watch that nobody else watched, and it was called Over There. And this kid has, I mean, he's got chops, man. He's really a great actor, and he hasn't done much to where the public really knows who he is. I don't even know if you guys are aware of who he is, but he's a guy that should be out there more. He's got a lot of talent, and he's a great singer too. But he just if you can find episodes of the show Over There, it aired on FX, just watch his performance. He played like a sniper. It takes place in Iraq, and he's really special. The other guy is a guy who's starting to get out there more. Is Joel Edgerton. I know he's going to be in Exodus, and it was funny because he was the star of Warrior, yet Tom Hardy is the one everyone talks about in that movie. He's an amazing, amazing talent. So I'd like to see him start to be more of not just common along people in our business, they know his name. I'd like everyone to know who he is because he's phenomenal. But Schnepp, what about you?
I'm going to go with an oddball one. Dylan Moran. He's a BBC British actor. He's known mainly for Black Books, which you could see on Netflix or Hulu or something like that. But I've seen him do his comedy bits, like, just live, what would you call it? I can't think right now.
What, bits?
Yeah, his little comedy bits.
Stand-up?
Yeah, stand-up. That's what it's called. Brain aneurysm, head,
Grab
brain
the mic and
floating
tell some
away.
yuck-yucks, friends. It's time for jokes.
A couple of funnies. That's what the guy does. But anyway, he does a lot of characterizations, and I'd love to see him being cast in something, Yeah. Besides his funny bits that he does.
Bits.
It sounds like something out of Star Wars, like, oh, it's a bit. I love the Joel Edgerton call. I think he's amazing. I interviewed him at Sundance a couple years ago for a really small film he did, and he was so kind, and we were stuck together in this holding pen for 20 minutes, and he was such a cool dude. I think it's an Aussie thing. I don't know, the Aussies, and he has this amazing production company that he does with his brother. He's very entrenched in film, so I agree with you. It would be great to see him kind of hit the mainstream, excuse me,
all right.
while I swallow my own tongue.
Joel Edgerton has that effect on women.
Anyway, the one that I think it's actually kind of happening already is Oscar Isaac. We were talking about him off camera. He's so talented. He can play anything. We've seen him do anybody. He can play dark and villainous. He can play despondent. He can play happy. He can play, I just think he's got incredible range. Clearly he's got he's got some music talent.
He's really talented.
So talented. I also have to give a shout out to Scoot McNairy because he's very much a character actor. He looks like a character actor, but he's so ubiquitous. We're seeing him everywhere, and he's doing such incredible work, and he's making such good choices.
It's on TV now too.
Yeah, he's doing *Halt and Catch Fire*. He's, they've just announced that he's got a part in *Batman v Superman*. We don't know what he is yet, but it's going to be cool to see that. And he's really talented. Gareth Edwards saw it and put him in *Monsters*, and he leads that movie pretty much alone, and he did a great job. So there's him. It's an exciting question. I thought this was a really good question because it made me think about what is a character actor and what is a leading man, and what does it take to be a leading man? And I was thinking about character actors that became leading men, like Fassbender or Tom Hardy.
Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, right.
Well, what is it? Is it good looks? No, because there's a lot of amazing leading men that aren't particularly good looking.
Right.
It's like a presence. It's a certain it
It's
factor.
also public exception as well too. It's the way that the public will let you know if they respond to people in a certain roles and who's memorable. Another guy is Sam Rockwell.
Yeah,
Sam Rockwell is the people love Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
And there's a few, besides Moon and a couple other things here and there, he hasn't really starred in anything.
Right.
He always kills it and everything.
Yeah.
And then the way back, he was the best part of the movie.
He was the best part of the movie.
And he usually always is.
Yeah.
But it's guys like that just you know that they're there and they start to edge up. And that to me is the definition of a movie star.
Yeah.
Guys with talent like that. And that's what happened.
That you root for.
But that's what used to happen. Tom Cruise is in a position that he's in because he built himself up. Regardless of now all you see him as Tom Cruise, he built himself up through Risky Business and all these other roles. And going back to the conversation we had before with Taylor Kitsch and all these other guys, they're not just thrown at you.
Right, now this guy's in 8 movies. He's your new movie star.
You have a
Don't
relationship
tell me
with
who's
them.
my movie
Exactly.
star.
Yeah.
And to your point of like, action stars that, or just movie stars that grow over time, it's really more about, like you said, public acceptance, but you also have to root for them. You have to feel like, I'm along for the ride with this guy. I will go into the depths of hell with him, literally, and come back out the other side.
Exactly, and it's that fan base, and I'm so curious to see what the chat boards are saying about which actors you guys want.
Yeah.
And another way to get involved, you have been getting involved. You've been sending in questions to Chrisley, and she's been monitoring them, and we're going to be taking a couple before we go off the air here. So Chrisley, you got a couple coming in?
I do. This one's just kind of a fun one that I wanted to bring up. Joseph Lociano says, hey guys, love the show. What is your favorite movie song? Mine's Don't Forget About Me.
You're the best around.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
I've got it.
What do you got?
Nobody does it better.
Nobody does.
That's mine.
it better.
I could watch the Schneppinator do it.
Let's just have
do it.
you sing all the best movies. That's a great question.
Baby, you're the best.
I still love it. I gotta do it if I get my chance to do it. The best YouTube video I saw is Arnold singing "Let It Go." Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Come on. To hear that was amazing.
I just want to hear you do it.
It's very fantastic to do. I said I'd do it once. I was doing it here, so there you go.
Oh my God.
Come on, Chrisley, what do we got next?
That was so scary. I was like, wait, what happened?
That's right.
All right,
Arnold's in the building.
That's right.
Thomas Bergstrom wants to know, do you think we will be reintroduced to a younger versions of Storm and Cyclops in the next X-Men movie?
That's interesting.
Right.
You would. I mean, I don't want to spoil too much for people who haven't seen Days of Future Past. I guess for a couple of months, so for the next 2 minutes, if you haven't seen it, pause it. But it would make sense.
Yeah.
I would like to see where they go in the timeline.
Yeah.
I'd love to. I mean, I think a lot of people think that Cyclops maybe wasn't handled the best in the original movies, and this is it was almost like Bryan Singer making up for it by bringing him back.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see that happen. Schnepp?
Well, I think they're going to play with the forward, backwards. Like they'll have the original cast and they'll have the new cast, and reintroduce the new cast. I don't know. I'd love to see the Dazzler. I don't know who owns those rights, but it is the 80s. I know she's more 70s, 80s.
I was told that my superhero alter ego was the Dazzler once, and I was like, yeah, I'll take
Mary,
it.
would you like to see them come back as younger versions?
I would like to, and maybe different actors, just because.
Probably have to.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't think we're at a place yet with the technology to make it look that much younger.
Well,
I know they did it
Storm
with,
is so specific too,
Right.
the facial features and the white. It's.
Yeah, I mean it'd be interesting for sure. All right, Chrisley, got some more?
Grant Davis says, hey guys, what was the bigger disappointment this year, Transcendence or Lucy?
Man,
I haven't seen this yet, so I can't
I
speak
still
to
think
this.
Transcendence to me it was with that star power and it was Wally Feaster's first movie and
Johnny Depp finally not wearing eyeliner.
it was just so boring. It was just so boring.
It truly is one of the worst films of the year.
It's really
Transcendence
bad.
was really, really, really bad, and I haven't seen Lucy yet, but I know
Yeah,
it
I'm the
couldn't
same.
possibly suck as bad as
The
Transcendence.
thing with Lucy is that the whole way through, regardless of what you think about it, you're entertained.
Yeah.
You're watching it. Like I could have taken 3 naps during Transcendence and would have
Unreal.
been fine with it. It was a really boring film, and it had so much hype
Like
behind
cat
it.
naps or like serious naps?
Serious
What are we
naps,
talking
like
about?
NyQuil naps.
Serious,
Knock out,
like
REM,
30
deep
minute,
REM.
REM.
That's it. Yeah, like I can't
God.
wake him up. Oh, we watched Transcendence. So like that.
I have insomnia. Put on
Right.
Transcendence.
And the other reason it was disappointment is because Lucy made money.
Yeah.
Transcendence did not make the money that they wanted it to make. So overall, Transcendence is the answer to that one. We got a couple more in the helm. What do you got, Chrisley?
Deandra A wants to know, because of how well Guardians did, do you think Warner Brothers could take on a Teen Titans movie since more people know about them?
I think we've had that one before, and I think Campion made it clear when he said no. but I don't know if that's the case. I don't know enough about it. What do you think?
Well, I mean, Cyborg, I think wasn't he born out of the Teen Titans?
Maybe. I don't know enough about it.
Marv Wolfman, George Perez, that whole run. I mean, it's a great series. There's a great run from the 80s that if they just took those like 70 issues and just made that, it would be great. It would be great to see it as a TV series.
Well, I think if there's ever been a time where it's possible, it's now. You know, maybe 5 years ago you'd be like, no way. But now with Guardian's success and seeing how these like smaller, lesser known groups of superheroes are faring at the box office, it's kind of like, well, maybe, you know.
All right, let's do one more. Chrisley?
All right, one more. We're making a Star Wars one. Joseph Solano says, can an ObiWan spinoff instead of a Yoda happen? He's my favorite character, and it makes sense.
I love this question. I have talked about this before, and I agree with you. I think that ObiWan is a much better story to tell than a Yoda story because there's so much going on in that 30-year period between Episode 3 and Episode 4. What was Obi-Wan doing? How did he get to Tatooine? Ewan McGregor has stated he wants to play the character again.
Oh, did he say that?
Let's see him play the character again. He would love to. Let's do it. It would be so fun. Nothing against Yoda. It's cool, but I want Yoda shrouded.
Do you have anything against Yoda?
But I want him to be shrouded in mystery. I don't want to see young Yoda. I don't want to see Yoda.
Well, they show him he's on Dagobah, then it's like, what is it, like 2 hours
and they
of
show
him,
a younger one in the Clone
around?
Wars, right? Like you kind of get a taste of the younger
Yeah, but that's still like 30,
I know.
20, 30, he's 900 years old.
He's still like 600 years old or whatever.
Yes, so 900 Miri.
Okay, sorry.
900.
Why not do
I think we should do a
Kenobi?
Chewbacca movie about Chewbacca.
Sure.
Starts
Revolutionary.
a rebel.
You can have Kenobi and Yoda in the same movie. Why not?
I think that you would have to
Yeah.
if that's. As far as a more interesting movie, you don't have to do an origin story of Obi-Wan. You do what was he doing? Where did he put Luke? How was he shadowing Luke? What were the missions in between? And tying into the series that Rebels has right now, you could really make it all work. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. All right, that's it. Thanks for hanging with the inmates in the asylum. AMC Movie Talk. Chrisley, the lovely, as I called you before, where can the good people find you on the Twitter sphere and all that other great stuff?
You can find me pretty much everywhere at Chrisley.
All right, sitting to my right and joining me today, Miri Jedikin. Where can the good peeps find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miri the Jedi.
And my main man, the man with the singing voice of the angels, Schneppinator. Where can they find you?
So you can find me at Twitter and Instagram at John Schnepp and at TDOSLWH for the Superman thing. Go to supportsupermanlives.com and get a sweaty nerd shirt. Help me out.
Oh yeah, get those sweaty nerd shirts. And I am Christian Harloff. You can find me Twitter, Instagram, and go to my Facebook page, Schmoes Know. John Campea will return, as they say, and there should be a big lettering. Campea will return.
Return of Campea in the Star Wars font. Yeah.
Coming in summer. Make sure you check that out and get all your news from AMC Movie News. Thank you for joining AMC Movie Talk. See you later. I'm not going to do the bye-bye. That's Campea's thing, so I'll just go, huh?
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.